What's good, y'all? It's your boy Tony the Savant back with another one. Let's do the intro. Shout out to the BCE, the SCE, my boy Mello, that's the president. Shout out to my boy Jeezy, that's the manager. Shout out to my cousin Hog, been supporting since day one. I love that and I love you, G. All right, let's get into it. So I was watching this interview with one of my favorite boxers of all time, Mr. Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. And he was, kind of going, discussing. Let me cite my sources. I'm sorry, guys. I love Fight Hype. Y'all go check them out on their YouTube. Also, do they have a website as well, fighthype.com. But anyway, Fight Hype did an interview with Floyd Mayweather, and he goes into some very interesting topics. I love when Floyd speaks, because when Floyd speaks, he talks very professionally. He's very aware of what he's saying. Let me hit the T, y'all. Floyd knows when he speaks, it's going to have vibrations in the boxing world. You know what I mean? So he's very careful when he says the things that he says, and I appreciate that about him. But he did say some revealing things. One thing that he said before is that if you're with PBC and you're with Al Heyman, you're with Mayweather. So I've always, when he first said that kind of stuff, I used to think that was crazy weird. Like, what? But now I get it. You know what I mean? As far as how Mayweather moves and how he how he handles things. Mayweather's kind of like the hidden hand, I guess you want to say that, in the PBC. And he's definitely their star pupil still to this day. Mayweather is getting $25 to $60 million to do these little exhibition bouts. Anytime you see him out there, he's getting anything from $25 to $60 million to do those exhibitions. And from what I'm hearing, Errol, Spence, and Bud Crawford just made about $25 million off this fight. The biggest fight of both their careers, and Mayweather's getting that for exhibition. So, that just is what it is. That just gonna let you know. Let's just let you know where Floyd Mayweather's status sits in the boxing world, even after retirement. He's still a big draw. So he was discussing, where did he go at first? We were just talking about the PBC stuff, and then he was discussing how, how much he supports both these fighters. I know definitely I've heard him on record, talking about how much he loves Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. But we were saying more so for Errol, he was just saying, like, if he was his trainer, that he felt like 140, he stayed at 147 too long. I think everybody is saying that right now. Errol, so this is what I was thinking, because I heard that Floyd went over to he said this to somebody, the announcers or something, but he was saying how Errol Spence looks extremely dehydrated, because staying at 147 was such a tax and toll on his body, that he can tell that it was something off. Now, everybody was saying before the fight, I heard a lot of, things going around about, prior to the fight, about Errol Spence's eyes being glossy, or, him looking off and all that stuff. I've always contended that with, well, me personally, if I was going off that, Bud looked hecka nervous too. You know what I mean? But honestly, going into the fight, watching their intros, I was getting more confidence watching, Errol come in. Like, I just thought Errol was just like, hey, man, this is another day at the office. You know what I mean? Y'all see what I'm about to do. I'm finna pressurize him. Boom, 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 boom. We know how Errol works. And then Bud was more so like talking to himself, hyping himself up. It looked like he was nervous, but that's how, you can't really go off perception with boxing, because you got to wait until the actual fight happens. So get back on topic. Floyd was talking about how he would have been promoted, been telling Errol to move up to 154 and to 160. And I just want to segue into that with, this is why I respect Errol Spence, because on a different level, Errol Spence is a man's man. You know what I mean? Like, I aspire to be like that, and I want to be Errol Spence Sr. You know what I mean? Is who Errol Spence Jr. learned from. I want to be that kind of father to my son. To even my son is a kind of guy that stands on square business. My sons, excuse me, because I feel like the only reason why we got this fight between Errol Spence and Bud Crawford is because Errol Spence was a man of his word. He said he was going to fight Bud Crawford at 147. Now, here's the thing. He said that 6-7 years ago. You know what I mean? We heard rumors about this fight going down way back, 2014, 2015 maybe. And then we actually started getting some momentum towards them fighting around 2017, 2018. And of course, 2021 and 2022, we had a couple upsets and a couple what we would call ducks, but ultimately we got the fight. But that's a long time to stay at 147, especially when your body's aging. You naturally, your bones is going to get bigger. Your metabolism is slowing down. So it is much more of a tax to get to 147. But like I say, I don't think we only got this fight because Errol Spence is a man of his word. He promised the fans that he was going to, fight Bud Crawford and that he was going to get all 4 of the straps. But I think that was just an overcommitment considering how the boxing, cycle, how it works, We can win a big fight. Like right now, everybody's talking about Bud Crawford and Charlo, but Charlo finna fight Canelo. He might get a rematch. Bud finna fight Errol again, more than likely because they had their rematch clause. And then in addition to that, if Errol Spence wins, then we might get a trilogy. So a Charlo and Bud Crawford fight might not happen for another 5 years. And then at that point, are we really even interested? It's going to be 2 old men going at it. It's not like we get excited for these fights, but it's not like they're going to go down tomorrow. It's a very vicious long cycle that has to happen for the big fights to go down. So anyway, I think the only reason why we got this fight is because Errol Spence was a man of his word. He easily could have just went on, and passed this fight up, but he didn't. And shout out to Floyd Mayweather, like I say, because Floyd has an eye for the game like nobody else I've ever heard talk about it. I love listening to Sugar Ray Leonard. I love listening to him when he talks about boxing. I love listening to Roy Jones, you know what I mean? Although I don't agree with everything Roy Jones says. All these dudes, I could Andre Ward. I like listening to the guys, the gladiators that was actually in the ring because they're going to give you a more in-depth, more detailed, opinion on what they see and what they're seeing. Also, Sean Porter. Can't forget about Podcast Porter. I love listening to Sean Porter's podcast. But so Floyd was just saying that he would have told Errol to go up to 154 and maybe even 160 at this point because it's true. Errol's 33, right now, going on 34. So, I know at 35, my bones, my body don't work like it used to. And I hoop, I still probably get it in once or twice, 3 times a week hooping. And I notice the differences, as an athlete. So, he said he would have done that, and I think that's something that we both agree on. I probably would. If I was training there, I would have told him, man, forget that Bud fight. I know you want it. I know it's a legacy fight, but you know what I mean? It's going to be too much of a tax on the body. And that's why I say, you can go through the list. There's no excuses. Errol Spence said even if he had an excuse, he wouldn't give it to us. Salute, shout out to that. This is why it's easy for me to support the man even after the loss. I mean, Errol Spence just goes about his business in a very professional and a very, respectful way. You know what I mean? I probably would have felt some kind of way after talk so crap. Hey, man, I'm dehydrated, but come back in December, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's what I was thinking. Also, Floyd was talking about what else did he say? I think that was pretty much the best, the highlight of what he was saying. He was also, doing a little self-promotion. Floyd. Floyd gonna talk about how somebody else can get all the belts. These other guys can do this, that, and but ain't nobody getting a $300 million payday. That's just Floyd for you, man. Floyd gonna at some point turn the interview into that, where he's telling you about his impact on the game and how he gave his whole life to boxing and how he did. Like somebody told him to do that. Like, you told to do that, fam. He could have been an accountant. I'm joking. I like to get Floyd. It's like I say, he's one of my favorites of all time. I love Floyd Mayweather. It's pertaining to him as being a professional athlete. I enjoy listening to the man talk when he's talking about boxing, but I do acknowledge that sometimes Floyd gets a little egotistical, and rightfully so. He earned it, 50-0, 20 years in the game, undisputed. I mean, not undisputed, but I think he won 2 or 3 weight classes, titles at 2 or 3 weight classes, fought the most champions. So, Floyd definitely got, some, and I might butcher this resume. I know Floyd Mayweather got a dedicated fan base, man. I've been learning lately. I posted a meme about Floyd and his fans coming at me, bro. So I get it. So if I butcher his resume, I'm sorry, y'all. But nonetheless, That's just my vibe, my commentary on it. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content on this channel. Listen, guys, I cannot express to y'all the gratitude and the humility I have for the support I've been getting. I love it. It just motivates me to keep doing this and doing it at a higher quality and a higher level. Eventually, there's going to be some money put behind this, and it's going to just be me and my little studio. But we're going to definitely keep working, and we definitely going to be bringing y'all some more stuff, some special stuff. I want my fans to be a part of this movement. This ain't just me. This ain't just what I love putting in the work. I like reading. I like looking at stats. I like, watching the fights or the highlights, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, y'all are the bosses. I'm just the guy that's gonna put in the work. You feel me? I ain't nothing. I want y'all to be satisfied with what I'm bringing to the table. But nonetheless, it's your boy Tony the Savant. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Be blessed. I'm not a player. I'm not a coach. I'm a savant.